What it really means to live life golden.
Sweetheart, are we offending you?
Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down, cause we're golden. They're about to see us glow, cause we're golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden.
All right, welcome back to the Leisure House Podcast. We have guest Johnny Hummel, also known as Johnny Baseball. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing good. Just another day out here at KPP. Feels great.
KPP. It's kind of chilly out. We got the winter fit on.
Yeah.
Looking cozy and stuff. All right, so we got Johnny from North Carolina.
Yep,
and
Charlotte.
you went to
Butler.
Butler
High School in Matthews.
Butler High School.
Matthews, North Carolina.
Grew up in North Carolina. Went to Butler High School. So tell me a little bit about Butler. How was your experience there? You know, you said you're a catcher and now you're a pitcher. So going through high school, you're catching. How does that feel?
So when I went to high school, it was a pretty big high school in Matthews, right outside Charlotte. I think we had around 1,500 students there. So it was a good experience. I started baseball, and like you said, I was a catcher. And I was a catcher my whole entire 4 years there. I pitched here and there on the side, but it was just a great atmosphere to play baseball. And like the Charlotte area, it's always had pretty good baseball. And
Yeah.
my freshman year, I remember I had an at bat late in playoffs against a kid named Logan Davidson, who is I forget what position he played, but he went to Clemson.
Oh,
and
wow.
he was
That's
he was a All-American at Clemson. But he wasn't a pitcher at Clemson. I think he was an outfielder maybe, and he got drafted. I don't know if he's in the pros yet or not, but he's somewhere through the system. But I faced him. I was 14 years old, and he was a senior, and it was my first at bat varsity, and it's late semifinals of state playoffs. One more win gets us to the state championship.
Yeah.
And I remember going up there. I was like, this kid's throwing about 93, 94.
Oh,
and I'm 14 years old. And I'm like, what am I going to do here? And, I step up in the box, and there's a good crowd there. I'm like, And everybody knew that I was a young kid.
Yeah.
I was just a pinch hit at bat late in the game. And he threw me two fastballs that just went straight by me.
It's blurred. You just like, wow.
Couldn't see it. But luckily they were a ball.
Yeah.
They were both balls. So I get 2-0 in the count, and I get my hack off.
Uh-oh, we got a wasp. Wasp alert.
Wasp, yeah. But I get my hack off 2-0, and it's a little high of a pitch, and I foul it straight back, and I'm like, I'm on it. Like it went straight back, and I feel confident after seeing that one, and then ends up walking me two more fastballs. So I get on first base, I'm like, I'll take it.
Hell
I'll take it, because I was young facing 93, 94. I was like,
yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. But getting a pinch hit at bat your freshman year. So were you playing freshman baseball and then they called you up to get a pinch hit, or were you just always on varsity and they just called you up?
So I was on JV. I started on JV for the first half of the season. So I was getting ABs. It wasn't like I haven't seen live pitching. So I was getting ABs JV-wise, and then they called me up halfway through the season, and then we ended up going to the playoffs. And so I was seeing baseball as well. I was seeing it well hitting-wise, but having that first varsity at bat as a pinch hit late in the game. So I'm just sitting there, I'm like watching all these older guys just run around the field like going crazy, and it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
For as young as I was, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I loved
That's really
every second of
cool.
it.
I mean, you're facing a Clemson guy he's gonna probably do great, and he went into the farm system. So, and the weather over there, is it hot, cold?
It's right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
It's right in the middle. So you get hot summers, and it gets up to about 96, 97, pretty humid. But then the winters, some winters it only gets to 40 as a low, and then some winters, like last winter we had a cold front come in, and was -10. So the weather, it's spotty, and one day it rains, one day it's sunny.
Yeah.
But there's one time last year where it was it snowed one day, and the next day it was 75 degrees.
What the heck?
So it's so sporadic there, but I enjoy the weather there. It's not too cold, it's not too hot. It's kind of.
What do you think of the weather here so far?
I like the weather here.
It's been nice though. You can't really we haven't really seen like the weather. It's been like hot.
It's
And,
it's been very hot.
in the beginning when we were working out, dude, we would be sweating. We had those gray shirts
Those gray
on.
shirts.
Oh my goodness.
I remember the first day we were out here with those gray shirts on, and,
Yeah.
and I'm just drenched.
Dude, I kept looking around to see if anybody else was sweating because I'm like, everybody can see like the pit stains and like all that, and I like look around and guys are drenched. The only guy that wasn't sweating was Caius.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, what? He's literally hasn't dripped an ounce of sweat, and I'm over here just sweating bullets, and we're doing the warm up, and I'm like, this is gonna be a long year.
The warm up, speaking of the warm up, I remember the first time I was here and we did the active, and looking back at that active, the first time I did it, I was dead. I was shot. Like I was tired halfway through. I was like, oh my god, this is so much.
Yeah.
But now
it's so
a piece
easy.
of cake. It's a piece of cake. You just have fun with it now.
Yeah.
So
it is fun. All the guys make it fun. I think that's what makes this place special. Is everything we do is like fun.
Exactly.
Like we're just warming up and everyone's just chopping it up and like, but everyone's doing what we need to do. It's not like people aren't doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Nobody's slacking off.
No one's slacking off, but like everybody just has that good energy, good vibes.
Yeah.
So that's what I really like about it so far.
But with the weather here, I mean, I can't complain. Like this weekend when we were at Michigan, it was 43 when we got on the field, and 30 minutes later, it didn't feel that bad.
Yeah.
It didn't feel bad at all. And even the whole game on Sunday, it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah. It was mostly the wind, I'd say.
The wind was
the
bad.
wind's what makes it a little colder. But once you move around and you get hot, it's like, all right, like whatever.
And when the sun came out, it was hot.
Yeah.
Even though it was like 55.
Yeah.
When the sun came out, it was still pretty hot.
Speaking of Michigan, you had your first outing against another team who's, I mean, they've been good for a long time. And so you came in and you were like, that's the best I've ever seen you pitch. And you've pitched really well for us. And like, you just took it to another level. Tell me how you felt like going in. Like you looked like you were sitting around because we played 14 innings.
Yeah.
So you sat around for like 3.5 hours, 4 hours. So and then you just come in and dominate.
Yeah. So with that whole thing, I was planning to throw game one. So I was planning to throw third of game one, and you know how it happened. It got a little chaos, and so they held me back until game two. But honestly, I was used to that long span because at my past school, we played doubleheaders on Saturdays.
Yeah.
We played a 9 and a 7. So we were out there for not 8, but like we were playing a game for probably about 6 hours.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad sitting around because I was used to it. I'm sure if I wasn't used to it, it would have been just terrible.
Yeah.
Because one, it was still cold. Two, I didn't really know when I was going to pitch.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to pitch later in game 2 once I found out that I wasn't pitching in game 1, so I could adjust there. But it helped me a lot with my past school playing doubleheader.
Yeah.
For this first outing for UK, and you know, I remember getting warmed up in the bullpen, and I'm like, this just feels good.
Yeah.
It feels amazing because it's been since May 4th since I played outside opponent, somebody else other than ourselves, and I was getting ready in the bullpen. I did my routine that I usually do, and I ripped my salts.
Yeah.
I ripped my smelling salts right when the inning ended, right before I was supposed to go out to the field. I ripped my smelling salts.
So, I mean, I think a lot of people, when you say smelling salts, probably don't understand what that is. Can you explain what they are and, like, why you do them? Like,
smelling salts is basically ammonia.
Yeah.
And it's not bad for you. You just can't do it constantly. Because if you do it constantly, then it gets to a point where it can hurt you. But smelling salts, they're mainly used for, like, hockey players. You'll see a lot of hockey players do smelling salts if they get knocked out or weightlifting.
Yeah.
You see smelling salts a lot because it gives you an extra boost.
Yeah.
And that extra boost only lasts for around 10 seconds. But the reason that I do it is because as soon as I smell that, it's almost like
like go time.
Yeah, it locks me in right then and there to like get my mind right. So it's like as soon as I smell it, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go have fun and let's go dominate. So I did that. I did my routine, ripped my salts, and I'm running in from left field bullpen, and I'm looking around. I'm just taking it in. It wasn't even that big of a place.
Yeah.
But there was still a good bit of people there.
Yeah, and they were all Kentucky fans.
They were all Kentucky fans. And I'm looking around, just taking it all in. I get to the mound, and that day, Folly the catcher, he looked like he was 10 feet in front of me.
Yeah.
It looked close. It was probably because the backstop was so...
And the dugouts, I felt like
We
I
were right
could
on
have
top of
spit
him.
on the third
Yeah.
base coach. Like, I was so close to him.
Yeah.
I was going to pick out his, like, sheet in his back pocket because I was
Yeah.
so close.
Yeah, so I think that's why it seemed so close to me. But I started throwing, and I remember was it you that said my first pitch was like 73 miles an hour?
Dude, oh my goodness. Look, you went up there, like, you looked ready to go, but I think the thing was off because, like, your first pitch, and it didn't look 73.
Yeah.
But I look up, and this is 73, and I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, all right, Johnny.
Yeah.
And then you start throwing your curveballs, and it said, like, 65. And I was like, bro,
That-
that's
yeah.
not 65.
No.
And, like, so I was like, all right, like, I guess this is what he's got today. I didn't, like, think you were going to, like, suck or anything, but I was just like, all right, let's see how he figures it out.
Well, everybody's velo was kind of down that day.
Yeah.
And it might have been because it was first day in the cold.
Yeah.
But so I get up there and
You threw your first pitch, and it was, like, 89. So I was
Yeah.
like, all right.
yeah, so I get up there and I do my warm-ups and I do my routine, and then my routine as a pitcher from the past couple years I've been pitching was I always, after the throwdown, I get the ball from third base, I take my hat off, and I run my hand through my hair
Yeah.
2 times. And I completely forgot I had a pitch comm in there.
Yeah.
I completely forgot we had a pitch comm in the hat. And so I take my hat off, and I see it just like fall out. I was like,
Oh, you're like, no.
what a great start.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like dwindling around with
Yeah.
it, trying to get it back, and put the hat on, and I look at Petre. I think he was that short that inning. I look at Petre, and he has a little smirk on his face, laughing a little bit. I was like, what a start. So then I turn around, I get set, I look up, and as soon as I look up, it's another action that I do that gets me locked in. Like the smelling salts were an action to get me locked in. Then as soon as I step on the mound, I toe the rubber and I look up at my catcher, it locks me right in.
Yeah.
And what helped me the best that outing was this first pitch curveball, and I landed. And I'm like, it's over.
It's over.
I landed my first pitch. I landed the first pitch, and it was a breaking ball.
It's over.
And I was like, it's over.
Was it a ball, though?
No, it was a strike.
Which one was the ball? The second pitch?
So I go 3 pitches as the first batter. I go curveball, fastball, changeup. And the next batter comes up, and we go slider, and it misses. It was a really good pitch because it tunneled well and it stayed true for a while. And I don't know how he took it because they didn't see that yet. Maybe he saw me throw it in warm-ups, but he took it, and I was like, dang. I get the first batter in 3 pitches. I'm like, all right, we're rolling.
Yeah.
And then there's that.
And you
But
took it. And
no,
you threw all 4 of your pitches back to back to back. So
Back-
fastball,
yep.
changeup, curveball, slider.
Yep, threw it all back to back to back, and he took that one. Next thing you know, fast forward, 10-pitch inning. I'm like, I had to fill out my journal today for Roselle. He was like, what is one pitch or one at bat that you'd like to get back?
The slider.
I was like, first pitch, the second batter was a ball.
Yeah.
I was like, man. But overall, it was an amazing experience.
Yeah.
First time out there in those jerseys.
Those are clean.
I love those
They're
jerseys. I like them.
clean.
I was talking to Frida today about them. I was like, I love those gray jerseys because I wore the short sleeve undershirt because I can't wear long sleeves when I pitch. So I
Yeah.
wore the short sleeve undershirt, and it felt like I had nothing else on. Like
Yeah.
it felt like I just had the vest on. So I didn't
Yeah.
feel restricted on my shoulders or anything
Yeah.
like that because it was tight.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing feeling to have that kind of jersey, and the pants fit so well.
Yeah.
You just felt like you looked like really good, which
Yeah.
means
You're going to play good.
more than likely you're gonna play good.
Feel good, or look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
I mean, I live by those 3 mottos.
And then you can add another one in there. I think it was, I forget who it was. It might have been Jock. It might have been Jock Peterson. Said that he puts cologne on, so it's
smell good.
look good, smell good, feel good, play good.
Dang, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I'm definitely gonna be putting cologne on in season.
I might have to do that. That's pretty good. That's really cool. And so for those of you that don't know, he had a 10-pitch inning, and that slider that he threw for a ball was the reason why he didn't get the immaculate inning, which
Yeah.
is 3 strikes to every single batter. And it doesn't have to be strikeouts, right? Does it?
Has to be
Three
strikeouts.
So
Yep.
you got 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts. The immaculate inning is 3 strikeouts on 9 pitches.
On 9 pitches, and he had 10
And I had
pitches.
10
so
pitches.
he had a terrible outing. So
And I've never done the immaculate before.
yeah,
I've been so close. I think I've thrown a 10-pitch inning with 3 Ks probably 3 or 4 times now.
it's not easy.
It's not easy
It's
to
not.
do.
And the
but-
fact, I mean, even 10 pitches, like that's not normal.
No.
That's not normal. He's just really good, and you'll see a lot more of that this season. I'm telling you right now.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I mean, because your stuff, I think what makes you so good is you tunnel everything so good.
Yep.
The first time I faced you, and I think it was after, I think you gave up a home run or something, and I come up and you walked me up 4 pitches, but I didn't see any of those pitches. Like they all look like, I don't know how I took them, but I walked, or 3-1. Yeah, I swung through one.
I threw that fastball up
cut.
and in, and you thought it cut.
It
literally
it disappeared.
It was
That's
a
what
force
did.
seam for me, but I think it's just the way I throw it. The way I throw
Yeah.
and how my arm slot is. It makes
Yeah.
it
It like
that.
came in and I was like, oh man, this is my pitch, and then it disappeared, and now literally like I looked down, I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, dude, if he throws that again, I can't hit it. And then you walked me, and then the next time I faced you, like your stuff, like the fastball comes here and the slider or curveball comes here, like it looks
Yeah.
the same, and you do a really good job of that. And a lot of our hitters have struggled. I mean, before even that outing, everybody was having trouble seeing you.
Yeah.
And you're not a big dude, so like
no.
you go up there and like you're just like, all right, like let's see what he's got.
And I don't throw hard. I don't
And
throw hard at all.
like you throw like decently.
It's, my spin is what makes
Spin makes it good,
the
and the
spin makes it,
sliders,
yeah.
curveball, and the fact that you can throw them all for strikes.
Yeah.
That's what makes a really good pitcher. Is when you can land 4 pitches, let alone 3 pitches for a strike, you're unhittable at that point.
It's like one of the biggest things that I would say for younger kids that want to be a pitcher is don't strive to throw the ball hard. There's no need to stress yourself out about how fast you throw.
Mm-hmm.
You see guys in the pros. I mean, the average fastball now in the pros is what? 94, 95?
94, 95.
You still see guys that are out there that throw 91, 92,
Yeah.
and they still dominate.
And they all throw strikes. Though,
Yes,
right?
it's all about location. It's all about how you can throw your off speed for strikes and
Yeah.
location wise. It's not so much about velo.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
I mean, when you fit, like for me, when I face a guy, and let's say on the scouting report it says like 93 to 96,
Mhm.
but can only throw if he throws his sliders in the dirt, like nowhere even near. I've already canceled out 2 pitches.
Yeah.
And I can hit that 95, 96. Looks like 90, 92, just because you're sitting dead red.
Yeah, exactly.
But for a guy like you who throws all 4 pitches for a strike, you're like, oh shoot. Like, even though it's 87, 89, 90, it's just like everything, it speeds up on you because you're worried about the slider,
Yeah.
the curveball, the changeup.
Exactly.
So I think that's it. And if you can throw hard and do that, then you're going to be an MLB pitcher.
It's even better. It's even better. And like the thing I forget who I was having the conversation with, but I was like, honestly, a lot of the times when you face guys that throw hard, you are more like your reaction's a lot better because
Yeah.
you have less time to think.
Yeah.
So if you got a guy that's throwing 96, 97 that only can throw the heaters like you said,
Yeah.
or maybe he has one other pitch, it's
Yeah.
maybe just a curveball that's 81,
Yeah.
but you're still your level of focus is heightened because you
Yeah.
know the ball is going to get on you so quickly,
Yeah.
or so much more quickly, so you can react more quicker and you don't have to think about where it's at.
Yeah.
So you get a guy that throws 90, you can see the ball a little longer,
Yeah.
but your reaction may not be as well as the guy that's throwing 96 because it's a lot easier just to react and not think then react.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you can tunnel that pitch when that 90's coming here and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
cuts down like a slider.
Yeah.
And then you go here, change up.
Yep.
So like being able to do that, I think is the real superpower for a pitcher.
Exactly.
And like you'll see in the SEC, a lot of guys throw 95, 96, but they have high ERAs because guys can hit.
Yeah.
Guys can hit the fastball.
Yeah.
Once I personally find out that you can't throw a third pitch, and your second pitch isn't normally a strike, like I've already gotten you.
It was like,
Like,
yeah,
it's over.
It was like that one pitcher from Michigan. He couldn't throw a curveball to save his
Exactly.
life.
Yeah.
And like every single curveball he threw, it was probably 55 feet,
Yeah.
and it was in the ground. It was in the dirt. So like, cancel that out
Yeah.
completely. And the whole dugout was saying that.
Yeah.
Like the whole dugout knew that he couldn't throw a curveball for a strike.
Yeah.
And then I think that was one of the guys we hit very
Yeah.
well.
And you find that out when he's throwing in the bullpen, And I'm looking down there. If I see spiked curveball,
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's out of the playbook.
Exactly.
And then he comes onto the mound and does the same thing, and I see changeup, can't throw for a strike. So as soon as I see it, I'm like, take it.
Yeah.
If he throws it for a strike, I like tip my cap, but it's probably never going to be a strike ever
No,
again.
you won't see that again. And if he throws it back to back, then
Wow, all right.
that's just how baseball goes.
That's just
sometimes.
how baseball goes, yeah. And then you have the scouting reports too. So you already have, like, as a pitcher, I'm sure you guys get scouting reports on the hitters, and the hitters get scouting reports on the pitchers. So you already have like a mental edge on each guy when you go up there, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's cool. So tell us where you went to college and how long you were in college there for. And you said you started off as a catcher.
Yeah.
So tell us that transition between a catcher and a pitcher.
So in high school, I was looked as a smaller guy. I was a catcher. And this was back before smaller guys were able, because high school was what, 7, 8 years ago?
Yeah. For you. For us.
Yeah, for us. So like back then, it was more along like catchers have to be big.
Yeah.
Because they have a bigger surface area to block a ball. So I was always looked as too small. I went on a showcase for my team. We went on so many showcases where there was colleges there, and I played really well, but the thing they would say is he was just too small.
Yeah.
Too small. So out of high school, I didn't really have anything. I had nothing at all. I didn't commit until my senior year of high school. And that freaked me out a lot because I love this game and I love playing this game. And it was in the winter of summer.
Yeah.
Or the winter of my senior year. So it stressed me out a lot. I was like, am I going to be able to play baseball? Keep playing. I'm not getting anything. And I go do a showcase, or not a showcase, but I go do a tournament at the school that I committed to. And it was after I played football my senior year of high school. And it was after a football Friday night game. Mm-hmm. We had to be at the school at like 7 a.m. It was a 2.5 hour drive from Charlotte. And I just got done playing football, and I got hit in the head pretty hard on Friday. I was a little dazed and confused. Mm-hmm. But I was like, I got to go. I have to, because I have no other choice. And so I go there, and I perform pretty well catching-wise, and I email the coach. Because I was like, I can't sit back. I got to email him. And that's another topic about recruiting for younger kids.
Yeah.
I have. But I emailed him, and he emailed me right back. He was like, yeah, I want to get you on campus. I was like, perfect. Go on campus. I liked it. It was smaller. We'll get into that. But I liked it, and I committed to a place called Erskine College.
Erskine.
It's in Due West, South Carolina.
Wow.
So it's if you know South Carolina well, Cali boy, I don't think you might know South Carolina.
Yeah, I
much,
don't know much about that.
There's a spot at Greenville, South Carolina, and Columbia. There's the two bigger cities in South Carolina, and it was dead smack in the middle. This college was dead smack in the middle, and it was a college of 800 kids.
Wow.
And my high school was 1,500.
Stop it. 800 kids?
800 kids, and 750 of them,
Were athletes.
give or take, were athletes.
So who went there that wasn't an athlete? Did they
They-
have a special program?
No,
They had to have.
No, it was just college.
Just 50 of them weren't athletes.
It was a college where if you grow up around that college, you're going to that college.
Okay.
It was that kind of area because
private?
It was a private Christian school.
Okay.
So it was along the lines of that. Like you were in it was a small town. I think the town population was 1,600. Super small town, no stoplights, all stop signs,
Yeah.
country roads for miles. You lose service if you drive 5 minutes off campus.
Yeah. So the town is 1,600 people, and 800 of them are college students.
Yeah.
So half of them
Half
are
of them.
at the college and half are not.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
So I go there, and I was still small. I was $150.
Wow.
I was tiny. I just never been able to hold weight.
Yeah.
And I was strong, but I was just tiny. And I go there, and, as it goes, I'm 18 years old, and there's 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's very hard to play as a freshman.
Yeah.
Very difficult at any level. And so I redshirted my freshman year, like a lot of people do. And that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. And then it comes my sophomore year, and I'm catching. And I'm playing fall, catching-wise, still catching. And then we get into the season, and we get about a quarter of the way through. And I'm still not seeing playing time. Not seeing at-bats, not seeing really anything. And our pitching staff wasn't the best.
Yeah.
And I go up to my coach, one afternoon. I go to his office. I'm like, hey, let me try to pitch. Because I knew I could. I knew I could throw strikes because of catching.
Yeah.
A lot of catchers can throw strikes. So I knew I could throw strikes. So I go to my coach and I'm like, let me just try. Let me try because I want to help the team.
Yeah.
I want to do something. I can't just, I love sitting there and supporting, but watching our staff not do the best, I was like, I want to help any way I could. Any way I could. So I go out there. Next day, he's like, all right, you're going to throw live to a batter.
Next day?
Next day, he's like, you're going live.
Wow.
I'm like, oh.
All
All right, here we go. Here goes nothing. And I faced my roommate.
Roommate battle.
And he was a catcher.
No way.
And
was he older?
He was older. He was older. I think he was 2 years older than me. I just went to his wedding this past summer.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That just tells you how old this guy is.
exactly. So I go out there and I talk to him right before I take the mound. I see him in the dugout. I'm like, hey, my curveball is not looking too hot right now. I might hit you, like, because it's been so long since I pitched. I'm like, my curveball is not looking so well, and it wasn't in the pin. It looked horrible.
Yeah.
So I get out there and I'm throwing. I get 0-2. I'm like, oh, all right, let's try this curveball. And I throw the nastiest curveball.
He's just like, wow.
And he
like a strike or a swing?
Yeah, strikeout.
Just looking.
Yes.
Wow.
Just looking, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I still got it. And so I go through a couple live ABs, and I do pretty well. And my roommate comes up and he's like, dude, I thought you said your curveball wasn't working today. I was like, I didn't know. I didn't think it was. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was. And I performed there, and then we have a scrimmage that weekend, inter-squad. I throw in it, and I do really well again. And then a week later, we're playing a conference game because it's in season. We're playing a conference game, and we were really good that year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had a chance to be number one, and I get thrown in there. A week later, after I do live
so
ABs.
during the season, you just randomly go, Coach, let me pitch.
Yeah.
You throw live ABs, and now you're in the conference tournament.
No, conference game.
Conference
game.
Pitching.
And it's late in the game against a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Against a team that's it's piece of fuzz. Against a team that is usually good in our conference, and I'm like, all right. I get locked in.
Lock it in.
I lock in.
Did you start your routine then, or did you have to like kind of build up into that?
I had to build the routine.
Okay.
I didn't have any.
So this time you're just going like raw. You're just like, all right.
Nothing. I'm just like,
just gonna go out there and do my best.
yeah. I'm like, all right, let's see what I got. And so I go out there and I do really well. I don't remember the line that I had, but I know I had a handful of strikeouts. I think I threw 2 innings, and it was late in the game, and that solidified my closing role, being a closer. So I do good, and we're like, all right, I'm gonna keep pitching.
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing playing time, I'm having fun, and I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Week later, COVID hits. Gone. Season over. And I think at that point we got halfway through our season, and I think we were 25-10.
Wow.
We were on a roll, and we were coming up to the biggest conference weekend set, and COVID hit. We get a text, and my roommate was a senior.
And he was done after that.
He was done. So we get that text, and we're like, oh my God.
That was the worst feeling ever.
And it killed the whole entire thing because I felt so bad for my roommate because he loved the game. Like, he loved the game so much, and he knew that he didn't have a chance, or he knew he didn't have a chance to move on higher up and get drafted. So, and he knew that this was his very last year, and it just got cut short. So COVID hit, and it's just like, man.
Yeah. I think that, like, a lot of guys during that time, especially on my team my freshman year, a lot of seniors, and I felt so bad because, like, I knew that I just started.
Yeah.
And I had all these guys that were actually, like, pretty good, but I don't know if they wanted to continue to play.
Yeah.
But just to, like, see guys, like, this is just it for them. It's just like, damn, dude, like, someday it's gonna happen to us regardless if we make it to the pros or whatever. But it's just so, like, heartbreaking to see guys that you're playing with just like, that's it for me.
Yeah, it's like the quote from Moneyball. It's like, sometimes you're told at 18 Sometimes you're told at 40.
Yeah.
But there's always a time you're told when the game's over.
Yeah.
And it sucks the life out of you.
Yeah.
And I don't think that many people understand, and not even for COVID, but just at the end of the year for any college.
Yeah.
It is absolutely the worst feeling in the world, but it's
Yeah.
also a happy feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's bittersweet.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did their time and they ended up playing college baseball.
Yeah.
So it was definitely heartbreaking because
Yeah.
we're on such a roll, and we get sent home, packed up, we're gone.
That
3
was
days
it.
later,
Yeah.
class is online. And I'm like,
that was crazy.
I just started doing good.
Yeah.
I just started getting in the games. I was just having fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
But then we got another year back,
Yeah.
which caused me to be here.
Hey, I think Crit said something like it didn't work out, but it worked out.
Yeah,
like something
exactly.
like that. Or like he said something that was like it made a lot of sense, and I was like, yeah, like it just didn't like work out the way we thought it would, but now we're in a great place. So
Yeah.
I think it's like I mean I don't think you could ever
you
not
couldn't.
be happy.
No, it's just like COVID sucked, but for us, it gave us another chance.
Another chance.
And what went on during COVID was just horrible. And
Yeah.
it was like, I remember one time that summer, we were like, is it ever going to go back to normal?
Yeah.
Because it just felt like it felt like we were just living,
Mm-hmm.
and we weren't really like it felt like we were just on Earth and not living.
Dude, that's exactly how I felt. Like
And it was
you're just like going through the motions. Like
There-
you're just going through life. And you're just like, damn.
you can't go anywhere. You're stuck at home.
Yeah.
There was no sports were on. There was one time there was no sports was on. There was no sports were on TV.
Yeah.
And my family's a big hockey family. So I set up my Xbox. And I had the two computers playing hockey, NHL,
Yeah.
on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And
You're just watching them?
I'm just watching two computers play NHL
Wow.
hockey through a video game. And I'm like, oh, this is
That's actually impressive.
like this is kind of
I would
fun.
I would have never thought of that. That's actually cool.
Yeah. So
So you said that you got cut short and you
Mm-hmm.
just started becoming a pitcher.
yeah.
How did you take advantage of COVID to become the pitcher that you are today?
Well, I went back. I had a phone call with my coach after COVID, and he called me. I was like, so this place was so small, and it was not an ideal place for college.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I look back at my 5 years I was there, I was like, I would never take that back.
Yeah.
I look back and I loved every second of it. But
Yeah.
at the time, I was like, the closest town was 30 minutes away. If I wanted to go get food, I had to drive 30 minutes. If I wanted to go to the
Really?
grocery store, I had to drive 30 minutes.
Wow.
And
So how did you like get food
our cafeteria, everybody just ate at the cafeteria
every day?
every single day in the cafeteria.
Okay, I couldn't have been good.
So, but I talked to my coach, and I always had the thoughts of leaving. I always
Yeah.
had thoughts of training because I had 2 extra years. I could go JUCO route, and then get picked up for even better,
Yeah.
or not better, but go somewhere that's more college life type
Yeah.
thing, or college experience. So I talked to my coach. I'm like, hey, like, I don't want to stay as a pitcher. I loved catching.
Yeah.
I loved it so much, and I wanted to keep playing. I wanted to catch. So I called him up. I'm like, hey, like, I still want to catch. And I hinted at him, like, if I don't come back and you don't give me a chance to catch, then I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
I hinted it to him, and he responds with, no, we'll give you another chance to catch, but at least we know we have pitching in your back pocket.
Yeah.
So this is my. Sorry, it takes me a little bit to remember that far back. This is my.
Junior year.
Technically, it's my freshman year. It's my redshirt
Yeah.
COVID freshman year, junior year in the class,
Wow.
and I start catching in the fall. I don't do any pitching. I play summer ball. I just hit.
Yeah.
I just hit and catch, and so I still catch, and I'm catching all fall. Not even pitching. I'm just catching, and I'm doing really well at catching. And we come back from winter break, and I'm still catching a little bit, and I have a decent fall, and we're like, when we get back when we had exit meetings for the winter exit meetings, he's like, hey, let's try pitching also in the spring. Let's start up pitching again in the spring. I was like, okay. And I was doing both
Yeah.
in the spring, and I just got more into pitching because I knew I was better at that.
Yeah.
I was better at that than I was hitting. I was really good behind the plate. I just really couldn't hit the best.
Mm-hmm.
So I started pitching more, and that year I only tallied about 17 innings. I was a closer, but I still never believed in me pitching.
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing it because it was a way for me to
Be on the
play.
field. Yeah.
Yeah. So that whole year was kind of like a wash. It wasn't anything crazy. So COVID never really helped me to become a better pitcher.
Uh-huh.
I just always wanted to hit.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets weird. So we go into my 4th year. It's easy for me to do numbers. So we go into my 4th year, and that year I was strictly a pitcher. I went in, I pitched.
So this is your sophomore year, though, of baseball.
Yeah.
Academic senior baseball sophomore.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I pitch in the fall, and I do all this, and that's whenever the pitching I knew that I was pretty good. I put up some decent numbers. I pitched a good bit. I think I had it was in the 20s out of the bullpen as a closer. And I do good. I put up some good numbers. I almost have a 0 ERA the whole entire year.
The whole year.
The last game of the year, I gave up 1 run.
Home run?
Nope.
Just
base knock through the 4-hole, guy from second scores. He was out. Umpire called him safe. I'm like, dang.
That's brutal.
So I do pretty well, and then I come back for my 5th year. Because I want to graduate. I don't want to leave, change schools. That was the whole thing about leaving or not, because it was hard for those credits to transfer over because it was a private school.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to my 5th year, and this is an interesting year. I catch in the fall again. I catch all fall. I pitched 2 innings in the fall.
Wow.
And I come back in the spring, and I'm still catching. We're a couple weeks away from opening day. And I'm still throwing bullpens. I'm doing more pitching stuff than I ever did.
Yeah.
That past year. And rewind. This was my 4th year, what I'm talking about now.
Okay.
So everything was a year back.
Okay.
This is where I got mixed up, yeah. So
There's a lot of them.
there's a lot of them. So it's a week away from opening day, and we have our meetings, our coaches' meetings, and we were playing spring scrimmages against ourselves, and our hitting coach was like, "Hey, you're gonna be a pitcher." He was like, "If you could have hit the ball better in the spring, you would have been starting behind the plate for opening day." That's all it was.
Wow.
If I would have hit better, I think I only hit like $150.
Yeah.
I couldn't hit the ball that went straight.
Yeah.
I only could hit the ball that curved.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, that's fine. Because I knew I was better at pitching.
Yeah.
And I'm still working and I'm still improving.
Yeah.
So I go that year, and that year I do well. And then my last year, my 5th year. That year I had a 0 ERA up until the second weekend before the closing. It was the second weekend before the regular season ended. I gave it up again. And
so we know that those last couple weeks we gotta be like, all right,
you just gotta sit me.
you're gonna sit, man.
You're staying in the bullpen.
You got a ZRA, like you just sit back.
Yeah.
We know your history.
Exactly. So I mean, this past my 5th year, I'm like, I'm not catching, man. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna focus on pitching. I knew I could have a grad year. I'm gonna focus on pitching, and I'm gonna do everything I can to become a better pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I was never taught how to pitch. I was always out there throwing strikes. So I never had teaching skills. I had teaching, but it wasn't anything like in depth.
Yeah.
So I focused more on pitching, and I developed my cutter, and that pitch helped me get to where I'm at now. Was developing that pitch, and I go out there and I start the season terrible, so bad.
This past year?
This past year, it wasn't bad. It wasn't so bad. It was. It wasn't what my standard was for the past 2 years.
Which is a 0 ERA.
Which is a 0. So I go out there, and my first 2 outings, I do fine.
Yeah.
I had a little more walks than I wanted to. I didn't give up any runs. I gave up a little bit of hits, not anything crazy, maybe 2.
At this point, are you a starter or closer?
Closer.
Closer.
Stayed as a closer. And I get to a point, we go down to Miami, and we have a tournament down in Miami with Lynn, Barry, and Nova. And we play Lynn, and Lynn's a pretty good team. They were ranked last year for Division II. Erskine is Division II, if you put that out there. And I come in with bases juiced, I believe, in the last inning. Because I think they were saving me for the Barry game. Because Barry was 14. They were ranked 14. So they're trying to save me for the Barry game. And so I go out there. I blow it. It wasn't bases loaded. It might have been. No, it was a clean inning.
You got a walk-off?
No. Yeah. Not a bomb. I gave a leadoff double. Absolutely smoked. Like, I thought the ball was gone.
Oh,
it was absolutely smoked. And I get a punchy, and then I walk, then another walk. I'm like, all right, bases loaded. It's a tie ball game in the bottom of the 9th. 1 out. And I get a chopper to third. And it was first and second. It wasn't base loaded. It was first and second. I get a chopper to third. And really tough play. Like, should have held it, but didn't. Really tough play. Makes a bad throw. Guy from second scores. Game over.
Dang.
And technically didn't count as a run.
Yeah.
So it was an unearned because of off the air. So I still have the 0. And then I don't pitch at all the rest of that because I threw a good... We beat Barry by a lot. And we beat Nova by a lot also. And then we get into conference play. This is where it picks up. And this is a good teaching moment. We play a team that's pretty good for conference, and I'm rolling. We have a 3-run lead. And in the back of my head, I'm still thinking about that 0. I've always wanted to finish that 0. So this whole last year, I was thinking about the 0. I want the 0. I want the 0. I want the 0, which was causing me to pitch really bad.
Yeah.
And I get 2 outs.
No way.
I get 2 outs.
Don't tell me you get overrun.
I get 2 outs, and I'm like, all right, we got it. Fastball, absolutely smoked. We had huge pine trees in the outfield. 3/4 of the way up the pine trees.
Wow.
Like big pine trees, like as tall as the scoreboard.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's a nuke.
So it was, and he hit that. I'm like, that's gone. And then all of a sudden, there's a sigh of relief that came out of my body.
Yeah.
I was like, I was kind of happy that it happened.
Yeah.
Because I never had that in the back of my head anymore of
having the 0.
And that made me become unstoppable that year. I was lights out for such a long time. I put up 30 innings. Or no, it might have been 28 or 30. I pitched a good bit. And I had 60 strikeouts. Or something
So
along the
2
lines of that.
strikeouts an inning.
And 2 strikeouts an inning. And
I saw that they posted 15 Ks per 9.
Yep.
Which
at one point
is
I was
ridiculous.
At one point I was 21.
21 Ks per 9?
At one point, yep.
Oh my god.
And then I only gave up 10 hits the
Wow.
rest of the year. Like total, that whole season, I think it was around 10 hits. 10 or 15 hits, and I had 60 punchies.
Wow.
And so having that sigh of relief come out of me.
That just like changed their mentality.
Changed it because I could relax.
Yeah.
And I could pitch with confidence, and I wouldn't have that thought in the back of my head. Like,
Exactly.
I want to have the 0.
Yeah.
So I did that, and it led me here.
Yeah.
That year led me here. So
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
Yeah, so you say you ended up here, man. So, I mean, 60 Ks in 30 innings is beyond impressive, whether it's Division 1, Division 2, and it doesn't matter. JUCO, high school. That's insane, right? So, when you were deciding on where you wanted to take your graduate year, was Kentucky always on your mind, or was there other schools in North Carolina, South Carolina that, gave you interest, or how did you end up deciding to come here?
Never would I have imagined I'd be in this spot. Never would I have imagined I was playing SEC baseball.
Dang.
because I was coming from a smaller school,
Yeah.
like that not that many people know about. It's not like a powerhouse school,
Yeah.
and I was like, there's no way. There's no
Yeah.
way these like they're gonna see me on the portal list and be like, yes,
Yeah.
Erskine College, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way. So I was getting hometown school, UNC Charlotte, mid-major, have been very good the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Is Trey? That's the one Trey was from.
Poozer?
Yeah.
No, he was from Charleston.
Charleston. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Okay.
So UNC Charlotte was always my head coach was really good friends with one of their coaches, and they were interested. And then, but I hit the portal, and for the grad year, I was able to hit the portal. My school didn't have a grad program, so I knew I couldn't go back to that school. So I hit the portal as soon as the fall hit.
Yeah.
Because I was still able to play in the spring because it's a grad transfer. So I hit the portal right away, and I was getting just little schools, like nothing crazy. Duke emailed me one time. That's
Really?
right. That's right in Raleigh, so
Yeah.
2 hours from Charlotte. Duke emailed me. There was just some other schools. UCF
Yeah.
was interested a little bit, and then but I hit the portal. I go see our AD or the operation. I don't know.
Compliance. Yeah.
Compliance. Yeah. I go see her, and she puts me in there. I see my name pop up on the portal. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
But you could see it in the portal. I never.
Yeah, because her computer was right there, and she
Oh,
submitted
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and all of a sudden my name was entered in.
And then you could see everybody.
And I was like, oh, I'm in the
kinda
portal.
cool.
I'm like,
Yeah.
this is exciting. Like, I'm
Yeah.
going to start getting emails.
Yeah.
This is going to be so cool. Who wants me? It's
Yeah.
because I never experienced that in high school.
Yeah.
Because I was never
Yeah.
top dog.
Yeah.
And I never got a bunch of emails and never.
It's
nothing
always
really.
like when you're in the portal, and you know you had a good year, whether you're at a Division 1 or Division 2.
Yeah.
You're just like ready. You're
Yeah.
like, all right, like
This is exciting.
let's get it going. Like, where are these guys at?
Yeah. So I entered the portal, and no kidding, 2 hours later, I see an email, and I click on it. There's a big old UK logo on there. I'm like,
Kentucky was the first one. Oh my goodness.
I was walking with my buddy. My buddy who was a grad transfer at the time. Also, he just entered the portal, and me and him were throwing partners, best buds. I still talk to him every single day. He's at Coastal now playing.
He's
a pitcher over there, and so me and him are walking. So me and him were in it together.
Yeah.
We're like, this is fun. Like, let's have fun. And I'm walking with him. I'm looking at my phone. I'm like,
That must have been like a shock.
and I show him, and I look at him. I was like, dude, there's no way. There's no way. Like, maybe they email me and I email them back and they just don't respond.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Give it a couple hours to email them back.
Yeah.
And I email them back, and next thing you know, I'm on a phone call 2 days later with them.
They move fast.
Super fast.
When they email, like if they email you, like you better email them back because you're getting on a call.
Yeah,
in
so
less than 2 days.
Yeah, so I get on the phone call with Coggin.
Coggin called you?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the infield guy?
Yeah.
Or was he a recruiting guy too?
Recruiting guy also.
Oh, okay.
So I get on a call with Coggin, and that went well. Then a couple days later, I get on a call with Roselle. That went well. Then I get on a call with Minge.
Yeah.
And that went well. And then at the end of that, so that's like a week.
Yeah.
Week as I'm in the portal, a week goes by, and I'm 3 phone calls deep with an SEC school.
Yeah.
I'm like,
this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun little.
it's like, all right. And this is before my last year.
So you hadn't even. So, for you, because I've heard things. I didn't even think about entering the portal. So
Early?
I
Yeah.
didn't even think that you could do that.
Yeah.
So you entered before the season even started.
Before my last season at my past school, I entered. I entered in that fall.
Oh wow.
So they were looking at numbers based off 2 years or the year prior.
Yeah.
And
at that point, you were just a 1-year-old in pitching.
basically one of like full
Yeah.
force. Still wasn't full force because that was the year I caught all fall
Yeah.
and
That's
all
crazy.
spring. So that's a week goes by. I'm in the portal, and then at the end of the phone call with Minge, he's like, I want to get on a FaceTime or a Zoom call with you and your parents.
Yeah. Like, all right.
All right.
That's different for sure.
All right, let me call my parents and let them know. Oh, my knee just
You're getting
cracked.
old, dog.
Yeah. It's a cold.
Take those vitamins later.
I know. So I end up going on the Zoom call, and it goes really well. He goes through the whole like spiel about UK,
Yeah.
and then we schedule another Zoom call like 3 days after that. I'm like, why are we doing 2 Zoom calls back to back?
Yeah.
Like, why? Back in my head, I was like, there's no way. Well, there might be a way. So I get on the phone. I get on the Zoom call again. We start talking more into it.
Yeah.
At the end of the conversation, he goes, "So would you like to come play at UK
Would I like to?
on a Zoom call
That's crazy.
with my
dude.
parents?"
Yeah.
And
Had you seen the facility at this point?
no,
So they just like you were just going off, just like
Going
based
off.
off his word.
based off his word.
Like, you had-
But I've seen it from social media. I definitely looked up their stuff.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
soon as I got that email, I was like scrolling through
Yeah, let's see-
Instagram,
let's see what they got.
scrolling through YouTube, like what.
Yeah.
And so he offers me. I'm like, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's the best decision I made. I love this place, and I love our team so much right
Oh my
now.
goodness,
And
dude.
you know, the crazy thing about it is it's just going to get better.
Oh yeah.
We're only 2 months into it,
Yeah.
not even a month and a half, because we didn't start until
What is it?
late August.
Or what is it? October 9th?
Yeah,
So if you think about, if we started August 9th, it would be 2 months.
yeah,
So
but we started
2
August
weeks later.
August 20th
Yeah.
or something like
We're
that.
less than 2 months.
So we're like a month and 2 quarters.
Yeah.
We're not 2 quarters. A month. I meant to say a
Like
month.
14
A month and
days.
3 quarters. Something like that.
Yeah.
Some. You guys get the point. But yeah, and it's just gonna get better. And so my experience in the portal wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
Because they worked so quick, and I was already committed.
Yeah.
So I didn't get any more emails after the fact.
So if you could, if there's a D2 guy, if you're talking to another D2 guy, what would you recommend if was kind of like in your situation? How would you recommend someone to approach your situation? It's kind of a tough question.
And
but
put your ego down.
yeah.
Just put your ego down. You may love one position, but you may be a lot better at another position. And always try out positions.
Mhm.
There's a lot of shortstops that could be amazing second basemen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of third basemen that can be amazing first basemen.
Yeah.
And you may be playing first at times in your life, and you're like, oh, I'm pretty good at this, but you love third.
Yeah.
So at that point, you if you want to play as long as you can, I
You
would
gotta be
definitely.
able to keep your mind open.
You
Put your ego
have
down.
to. There's so many Bryce Harper was a catcher.
Yeah.
And look at him now. There's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many people that were,
Great one position.
and then they try out another position, they're even better.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the mindset of, or that's the advice I could give somebody about that. But then the advice to go about schooling wise, like changing through schools, is this is more for younger kids.
Yeah.
Is like high schoolers. This is, don't be too crazy on the divisions. Because I lived in Division 2 for 5 years, and I've lived in Division 1. I've seen an outside opponent, and I've seen our staff and our team. The biggest difference that I see in our Division 2 was a very high quality, high caliber division. We were one of the best divisions in the Southeast, or on the east side, basically. And the only main difference I've seen is, one, velo. You get guys throwing a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, if you're a pitcher, you can't miss a spot.
Yeah.
You may get away with it sometimes, but a lot of times you might not.
Yeah.
And then 3, the strike zone. Just for pitchers and for hitters as well.
Yeah. Dude, the strike zone is completely different here. And I don't know what it is, but it's a lot tighter.
Yeah.
It's so small, and I feel like I can actually take pitches.
Confidently take a pitch.
Confidently, I'll take it and I'm like, yeah, that's a ball.
That's a ball.
They're like, ball.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. Because even at SCU in the Pac-12, there, I can pull up some video. I'll put it on this podcast and put it on there. But there were some calls where I confidently took them, and they were strike 3.
Yeah.
And I don't really strike out much. I don't think I've struck out this fall yet. But it completely throws you off as a hitter.
Yeah.
When you strike out on a pitch that's like not even close, you start overthinking. And you're like, oh my gosh, now I got to cover that.
Yeah.
But when you're here
It's
and
like-
they got all that, you're just like, all right,
Yeah.
like I can just wait for
It
my
makes
pitch.
it so much easier for you guys.
Exactly,
It makes
yeah.
it so much harder for us. But
Yeah,
those are the three main differences that I've seen. And obviously the workload is a bigger difference between Division II and Division I. But if you're a high school kid, don't get too caught up on a division.
yeah,
Go somewhere where you know you're going to play. Don't go somewhere where you have a chance.
yeah,
So if there's a Division II that's all right or somewhat good, and then there's a Division I that has depth and they're pretty good, if you're like that, then go to Division I.
yeah,
But if you're not, and you want to see playing time, go to the other school, because no matter where you are, if you want to play the higher level,
Yeah.
like pro ball, they will find you.
yeah,
No matter what division you're in, they'll find you. And even the JUCO route,
yeah.
that's such a good route to do if you want to get better, want to get bigger,
Save money,
save money, and
play.
play.
Play. That's the biggest thing, is playing. Because there's a lot of guys on this team that are really good freshmen that would literally play anywhere else.
Anywhere else.
But we have a really solid team, and it's
Yeah.
hard for guys to get playing time. And a lot of guys will still get playing time. But what I'm trying to say is that, like, a lot of players are good, but you have to, like, wait your time.
You have
and,
to,
like, I
yeah.
get it. Like, it's not like, all right, don't go to Division I or something like that. But it's
Yeah.
like, if you're kind of in that position where you're not sure, like, you're kind of, like, begging to go to Division I, especially with the portal now. Like, you could literally go to a Division
The portal's
II
insane.
for 1 year
Yep.
and have an amazing and play, right?
Yep.
And then you can go to anywhere in the country you want.
Yep,
And I've
exactly.
seen multiple guys on Twitter that were like, NAI. I'm just like, how, this guy's at this school now?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. And it says like 463 with like 22 home runs.
The
And you're
JUCO
just like,
routes,
bro. And
unreal.
JUCO, yeah.
Because like the big thing about freshmen coming into a Division I is size.
Yeah.
Like, there's 18-year-olds that may be gigantic and they could play, but then there's a lot of 18-year-olds that haven't developed, because the change between 18 and 19, and even the change between 18 and 20, is unreal.
Yeah.
It's an unreal change. And so if you want to have the best experience playing baseball, go to don't get caught up in the Division I. Go to another school where you know you're going to play, you know you're going to develop, and you know you're going to become better.
Yeah.
So that's the best advice I could give someone that's
And just keep your mind, like you said, keep your mind open to positions.
Exactly.
My brother, he was a catcher as well, and I talked about this on the podcast with Crit, but he was legit. He was good.
Yeah.
But, like, he just couldn't play at where he was because the guys in front of him were better.
Yeah.
And it's not because he wasn't good. It's just, like, they were just better.
And they're older.
And they were older, and then they decided to make him a pitcher, and that was the best thing that ever happened to him.
Yeah, that's exactly what kind of happened to me. I went in as a freshman. I was small.
Yeah.
There was guys in there that were from JUCOs, and they
Yeah.
were already big. They already played the game a good bit, and so I wasn't seeing playing time because they might not have been better than me,
Yeah.
that I thought, but they brought more to the table for the team
Yeah.
than I did. So
Yeah. Even for my sake is that I used to play shortstop in high school. Like, that's hard to believe now, but I was pretty good. And I transferred to a very good high school, Catholic high school. And if you guys are watching the postseason right now, you guys see Royce Lewis going crazy. And that was our shortstop at J. Sarah.
That's
so you can
insane.
imagine I had to open my ears and my heart, let the ego go. I wasn't beating that guy out. And I mean, that guy, it was the best player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And so I got moved to third, and then we had a transfer who's my best friend now, Michael Curiale, who's played at UCLA. He's playing with the Cardinals now. And he came in, like, I transferred, and then he transferred after, and he just was better at the time. And I got him now. I'm better than him now, but but at the time he was better. And so I had to play right field. So I went from shortstop to right field, and then when I went to UIC, and then JUCO, I was playing third and second.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, that was best for me. And then I got to SC, and there was really good third basemen. And so I had, I don't want to play first base, but they're like, hey, like, you got to play first base.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, the first baseman's, like, it didn't end up working out where I ended up doing really well, so I played.
Yeah.
But if I was just so like, oh, I'm a shortstop,
Yeah.
I would probably never even be at Kentucky right now.
I wouldn't be here.
And I'm really, like, just open your ears, and you just got to be in that learning mentality. Like, hey, all right, like, that guy's pretty good. I get it. So I can play first. And being versatile is a huge thing. If you can play left field, center field, right field, you can play third, short, second, first. This is going to be a spot for you.
There's going to be a spot.
Yeah.
And if one guy goes down, then if you're behind, one guy goes down, then you got your chance.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so, that's what I said, just put your ego down.
Yeah.
There's always somebody out there that's better than you.
Yeah.
No matter, it sucks to say that, but there's always somebody out there that's better than you.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. So you mentioned that you have a brother who's 5 years older than you.
Yeah.
Played baseball.
Yep.
And so growing up, you had that role model.
Yeah.
And you looked up to him. How did you learn from him in your baseball career?
So at a young age, when I was probably 2 years old, I was on the baseball field because my brother was playing. I was out there running around the bases, cleaning off the bases, just being a 2-year-old. So I've always been around baseball. And my brother, he was a really good first baseman.
Mm-hmm.
Really good first baseman. He was a lefty, and he could pick a ball really well. He was really good, but he was shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And he switched positions to become a pitcher, a lefty pitcher. And what I learned from him was, like you said, keep an open mindset about that. And I learned from there's that cliche saying, learn from others' mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're an older sibling, your younger siblings learn from your mistakes.
Exactly.
Because you're usually the one that makes the mistake first because you're older. And then you grow up and you're like, okay, well, I can't do this because my sibling got in trouble when they were this age.
Yeah.
And so I learned from his mistakes a lot throughout baseball and throughout life.
Yeah.
So he played, and he was really good. And he played in high school, and he had some offers to some mid-majors around the Charlotte, North Carolina, South Carolina area, and then he quit his senior year of high school. Quit. Out of nowhere. A couple days before the season starts.
Oh, it was before the season.
Right before the season starts, he quits.
Dang.
He quit because his girlfriend at the time was going to a school, and he wanted to go to the school with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that argument that I heard between him and my dad was an unreal argument. And I don't talk to him about this that much because it hurts him a lot, my brother, because he wished he never made that mistake. To quit baseball, to quit doing something that he loved where he could have played more.
Yeah.
Over a girl from high school. They ended up breaking up.
Oh, no, dude.
They ended up breaking up freshman year of high school.
Freshman year of college?
I mean, freshman year of college. They ended up breaking up freshman year of college. So
you hear that, guys? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. So I learned so much through him, and it was just life, like life things. Yeah. It wasn't even that much baseball-wise, because I was always around baseball, but I learned from my brother's baseball career of how to go about your everyday life as a baseball player.
But when you learn those life lessons, you can apply them to baseball.
Yeah, because baseball is just a weird sport. Yeah. It's a weird sport where life... everything you learn in life, you can apply to baseball. And everything you learn in baseball, you can apply to life.
Yeah. And I've learned that actually a lot here. Yeah. Is we do the quote of the day.
The quote of the day.
The quote of the day, man. Like we talk about the quote, and we like explain what it means to each individual person, which is really cool. So like you learn things that you didn't know about, and now we're doing each player is going to come with a quote. So it's pretty cool to like be able to like learn stuff from here and apply it to real life. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So my brother quits, and he goes freshman year of high school at a big school. Gets like a 0.5 GPA. Sheesh. Absolutely just tanks it. And he was one of those older guys, so he was young for his grade. Yeah. And he was, that summer after his freshman year, he was still able to play like summer baseball with like a showcase team. So he goes and plays for this for the team that I played for, and he played all throughout his life with them, and he ends up getting a JUCO route to Lewisburg as a pitcher. I remember that day. He was 18 or 19, and I was probably. I was probably around 14, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Your freshman year of high school.
Yeah, I was like 13 or 14. And it might have been that freshman year. It might be going into my freshman year of high school.
Oh, okay.
And I go up with him, and I catch his bullpen for the school.
Yeah.
That's the most JUCO thing in the world.
Man.
I'm an 8th grader going into my freshman year.
Yeah.
High school, and I'm catching my brother's pin
At a JUCO.
And he's showing out, just trying to make the team.
Yeah.
And he ends up making it, and he does it. He does a whole fall there, and App State was like, "Hey, if you keep this up, like at the end of this year, we want you to come play for us. We should come pitch for us." And they got a whole new coaching staff right after the fall season, and they lost their pitching coach. All they had was a head coach and a hitting coach. And so that hurt my brother pretty bad, and he was like, I'm gonna hang it up. Yeah. They're messing with me too much of pitching wise, because this guy doesn't really know what he's talking about that much.
Yeah.
And so he just hangs it up and finishes out college, and now he's a certified pilot and sells private planes.
That's pretty cool.
With 2 kids and a wife.
That's really, I mean, it's crazy how things can work out like that.
Yeah.
You know, like one route for someone can be completely different for someone else. And even though he didn't end up playing baseball, maybe staying with that girl was the best decision they ever made, because now he's at where he is right now.
Yeah.
Right? So if he ends up maybe goes baseball and he breaks up with his girlfriend, he goes down a different, like, you never know.
Yeah. So
it's cool, like how, even though that was a bad decision for baseball, it ended up making him get to where he is today, which is really cool.
Yeah, because he might not have met the girl that he's with now.
Exactly. And he might not be doing what he's doing right now, selling planes.
Yeah, so and
that's pretty cool.
And he loves what he's doing now. He's got his 2 kids. He's got a daughter who just turned 4 on the 4th.
Oh, wow.
Or the 3rd of October is one of those 2 days.
Happy
and then
birthday.
And then he's got a son who's about to be 2.
That's crazy. So you're an unk, dude.
I'm an uncle too.
You're an uncle for your brother, and you're an uncle to all these guys on the team.
What is it? The freshmen here now are 6 years.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, we got Coach Kuzi over there. What's up? That's Coach Kuzi right there. Come kick it.
So, but yeah, the freshmen now were in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
When I was starting college.
That's crazy.
He's a clown.
He is a clown.
Oh my god. But yeah, learning through my brother's career and life. If you have siblings out there, never take anything for granted with your siblings.
Yeah.
You're gonna fight, and you're gonna hate each other at times, but it's always gonna bring you back home.
Oh yeah.
And you're always gonna be grateful, especially the older ones. You're always gonna be grateful for them, because if it wasn't for them, you may not be who you are now.
Yeah.
And it's something that's great to have as an older sibling, because they show you the way.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough to be a younger and older sibling. So I have my older brother, who I look up to a lot, and like you said, like helped me a lot with life lessons, baseball. But I also have a younger brother who's 8 years younger, so he's a freshman in high school right now.
Wow.
And I'm doing like all this stuff, and all I want to do is like make sure that he has all the resources he has, because stuff I didn't have, I want to make sure he has.
Exactly.
So it's cool to like have that full circle moment, because
Yeah.
like I had my brother, but we were so close, and now my little brother's so young, but it's like I have so much knowledge I can share with him now.
Exactly.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
Little full circle moment. So you got some drip on, man. So tell us a little bit about your style. You got some good style. You come in with some nice fits to the locker room every day. You got some dunks.
Yeah.
So what goes behind this? How do you dress every day?
In the summer, nothing crazy, man. Nothing crazy. It's just it's too hot to wear.
Yeah.
It's too hot to wear anything. That's crazy. But in the winter, I'm a big neutral guy.
Yeah.
Neutral colors. I don't like a lot of poppy colors and stuff like that. I'm a very black, white, gray, brown. Sometimes some blue in there, but big fan of the Dunks.
Yeah, those are fire.
Big
Are those
fan of
the ones I have too?
Yeah, the Vast Grays.
Yeah, the Vast Grays.
The
I got
Vast
a pair of
Grays.
those too. My boy Patty Kicks on Instagram, he sells shoes and he's got all kinds of shoes. So if you
I might
want
have to hit him up.
you hit him up, dude.
I might have to.
Those are sick.
I need to get some more, but I'm a really basic type of dresser. I don't want to go over the top. I want to be very clean and crisp and just. Probably about it. I don't
Look
try to
good,
do
feel good,
smell good, play good.
play good. Yeah.
I don't try to do too much. But
yeah.
like I got 2 pairs of Dunks. I got some Blazers that I don't really wear that much anymore, and then my old trusty Reeboks.
I've seen those. I've seen those on the Fridays.
They're they're like the Dunks, just a little more casual.
Yeah.
So
you definitely need to upgrade your shoe game then.
yeah.
Get you some. I think these are beat up Air Forces, but I need to get some new ones. But you need to get some Jordan. I think you'd look good in Jordan 1s.
I've always wanted to get some ones. And back in the day in middle school, I had some shoes. I went through a phase. I had a couple of Jordan 1s. I had Jordan 9s. I had 11s.
Dang.
I had 13s. I had some LeBron 9s.
That's sick.
I had some KD, some Kobe. I had a lot.
They don't fit anymore?
I sold them all, man. I
They
sold
still
them
fit
all.
though, huh?
They would still fit me.
Actually?
Yeah, because I was in like 8th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and I was still 10 and a half at that time.
So did you max out in 8th grade, your height and stuff? Were you the tallest kid?
No. I didn't. No. I probably maxed out my sophomore year of high school.
Really?
Yeah.
5'10"?
No.
5'9"?
No more.
5'11"?
5'11" and a half. 6 foot.
Stop. All right, we'll give him 6 foot. I'll give him 6 foot.
On the roster it says 6 foot.
6 foot.
Yeah.
But that's funny because my middle school, I was like 5'3".
Really?
Yeah, I was small. I didn't grow till even my freshman year. I think at the end I was 5'6", and then sophomore year I shot up 5'9", and then junior year I was 5'11", 6 foot, and then senior 6'1", and then now I'm like 6'2". So
Yeah.
it's been cool.
Yes, but I had all those shoes, and I wish I would have kept some of them.
Yeah.
But I sold them all, and it's all right. It's whatever. But yeah, I've always wanted to get some. I've always wanted some ones. One shoe that I'm looking at that I want to get pretty bad is this Oliver Cabell shoes. Haven't really heard of them, probably. I'll show you a picture of them real quick. You can put them on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll check them out. So you guys can check out the Oliver Cabells. Maybe Patty Kicks will hook you up with some Oliver Cabells. Are they just like, let's see. Those are kind of sick. I like those.
Yeah,
cool.
I saw an ad. I saw an ad on Instagram. I saw the shoe. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I actually saw an ad of loafers. I'm a big loafer guy. I like loafers.
Okay.
So I saw an ad of loafers. An ad for loafers, and I was like, I clicked on them because I wanted to see what they were like, and then I saw their sneakers. I was like, huh, it's kind of cool.
They're kind of sick. I
want
like
to
them.
get a pair. They're very cut and clean, just to the point, just very neutral. Like I said, I'm a big neutral person.
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah.
That's sweet. So, the last question I have for you is: you're a 6th year, and like this is your final year, and you know like this is your final year of college.
Yep.
What are your expectations after this year? Do you want to continue to play? Do you want to go down the indie ball route? Would you go down the indie ball route, or do you want to get a free agent deal, or are you done after this?
I think the indie ball would be a stretch. Gonna be 24.
Yeah.
At the end of this year, for the season, 24 at the end of the season. Indie ball would be a stretch for me. I definitely want to start my life and make money, because indie ball it's a grind.
Yeah.
Of no money.
Yeah. My brother's in indie ball right now.
It's a grind.
And he's grinding.
Yeah. So indie ball would be a stretch, a very far stretch. Free agent deal, I would take.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'd take it. I'd take it in a heartbeat, just to try it. Yeah, I mean, just to say, hey, I went and did it. I can check it off the list. And who knows, it could take me further.
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen.
I mean, you never thought you'd be at SEC school right now.
I never thought I'd be here, and look what happened. So I would definitely take a free agent in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Free agent above,
Absolutely.
not a question.
Take it, yeah.
I'll definitely do that because
I feel like the indie ball is kind of like, once it comes closer to that point, it's like, all right, now you can make a decision. But like right now, we're both like, nah.
right now
no
it's like,
indie ball,
nah.
you
But then
But like at the end of the season, you're just like, dang, like
I want to keep
I
playing.
don't want to keep playing. Like it's kind of like a game time decision. But
I don't want to hang it up.
I feel what you're saying.
I don't want to hang it up yet.
Yeah,
wanna
but
keep going.
I sometimes I'm just like, at what point, like, do you need to hang it up?
At one point is enough.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not that you don't like love it anymore or anything like that. It's just like, you're just at a point in your life where it's like, I want to make some real money and I want to start my life and like a family soon. So it's like, I can't really do that if I'm doing indie ball.
No.
So with the money that you're making.
Yeah, and you want to settle down and have like your own place.
Exactly.
Have your, as much as all my friends now have 9 to 5s, and they're like, oh, don't do it. It's not fun.
Oh,
Stay in college as long as you can. Stay playing baseball as long as you can. But I look at it, it's like, I want to do a 9 to 5. I want to make money. I want to have my own place. I want to have my routine. And I do have my own place now.
Yeah.
First time ever living alone, without anybody, my own apartment. It's fantastic. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. If I were to live alone without college baseball, I don't think I would like it as much because I wouldn't really hang. I would have friends, but I wouldn't meet new friends, and I wouldn't go out to meet new friends.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
but having college baseball and living by myself is it's unreal, especially at our age.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought I was gonna live by myself, but when I committed here, Coach said that Grant Smith was looking for a roommate, so I was like, I wasn't gonna be like, nah, like, I was like, yeah, of course. I've always wanted to live in a baseball house with a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, like that's definitely an experience I can have. But definitely living on your own is something new, and it's good that you get to do it now, where you get to go to the field every day and see the guys, so you get used to it when you don't get to do that.
Yeah,
so.
and in my last 2 years in my other school, I had a house. I had the baseball. I was with the baseball house.
Yeah.
So I experienced that. I experienced a dorm life. I experienced apartment I did dorms my first 2 years, apartment with one of the baseball guys, and then I went back-to-back houses with the same group that I spent the last 2 years with. I went back-to-back houses with them.
Yeah.
And so I experienced it all.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
That's good.
I'm gonna live on my own for 1 year and see how it is, and I enjoy it a lot. It gives me this is gonna make me sound old. I get in bed around 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it's past your bedtime.
It's past my bedtime now, but I get in bed around 7:30, 8:30 because there's nothing else for me to do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make my dinner, eat my food.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna sit on my couch and watch TV in my living room.
Yeah,
I'd rather just go shower and get in bed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you are getting old, man. We're getting old.
We're getting old.
Well, Johnny, I appreciate you coming on the podcast, man.
Blast.
It was good having you.
It was fun,
Johnny Hummel, everybody. Stay tuned for him this season. He's going to do great for us. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next Wildcat. Thank you. Let's go.
Oh, that feels good.